Almost no one showed up to my birthday party. Feeling incredibly upset. Need advice, 23F. I'm in grad school. When it's someone's birthday, someone else typically throws them a surprise party. I know myself and would be really hurt if no one did that for me after I organized it for others. For this reason I planned my own party and invited dozens of PPL. I texted everyone 2 weeks in advance, sent reminders day before, and asked people if they were coming when I saw them in person. I'm a decently outgoing person and try to talk to everyone in my class. I thought I was doing okay building relationships. I was bullied elementary high school, so I'm very insecure about socializing and convinced everyone secretly hates me, and yes, I've gone through YRS of therapy for it. Today was my party and most people didn't show up. I know this was a rough week of school, so some needed a break. I was feeling so anxious before and had 2 panic attacks about school. I spent hours setting up and bought food for people, all for most people to not show up. I had 6 different people message me and say they had migraines. I was hurt the most by a group of people who said they were coming, hanging out, and not coming. They posted pics of each other all over social media. One of them I thought was one of my closest friends. When she was going through a breakup, I dropped everything to support her whenever she needed it. I was so hurt by everything I kept having to excuse myself from everything to have a short cry in my room. I never want to have another party again. My self-esteem is destroyed. I put so much effort into WHST I thought was friendships just for people to not even stop to say hi. We all live less than a mile from each other. My question is, how do I move on from here? My brain says I should isolate myself, but that's not healthy. Should I delete social media for a bit or unfollow people who post stuff that makes me feel ignored? Should I focus on myself and school for a bit? Should I let myself be sad? I feel so embarrassed for putting so much effort for it to fail. The people that came seemed uncomfortable since there was barely anyone there. On the bright side, a few people I wasn't even that close with stopped by and dropped off small gifts, which was a lot more than some friends. Should I instead focus on getting to know these individuals? Too long did not read. Threw a birthday party, all for many of my friends to not come. Update: I wrote this at 3 a.m. after only getting 3 hours of sleep the night before. Between the lack of sleep, my dysautonomia being bad that day, and starting my period, I was a mess yesterday. I had a good cry this morning and invited a few people from yesterday to get donuts for breakfast. I then took a long nap and some of my meds and feel a million times better. When I wrote this last night, my heart rate was 180 while lying for about 3 hours. I was a mess and considered going to the ER. It was essentially a 3 hours long panic attack. I'm going to talk to my psychiatrist about getting a few Ativan in case it ever happens again. To everyone who took the time to give me advice, thank you. Been there. Take a step back from planning events for a while. Don't plan events for people who didn't show up to yours, and instead just invest your time into the people who did show up. And for the person you thought was your best friend, let them know you felt hurt and let down, that on a night when you felt abandoned and stood up by a big crowd, she was one of those people who ditched you. Hey, you should spend a day relaxing and doing something calming, kinesthetic to re-regulate your nervous system. You will catastrophize this for as long as you're in panic meltdown mode, though it is totally okay to experience that at first. Then you should focus on those people who did come. Everyone else just doesn't get you or how cool you are or what you're about. Focus on the people who are also looking for friends and who made it clear they want to be in your world. Just hold on to your own sense of value and prioritize your own well-being at all costs. The stronger your sense of self-value, the more people will want to come to you and be around you because that feels good to be around. Good luck. How many people did come? At your age, I was surprised you invited dozens of people. If you truly think they are all your friends, as opposed to acquaintances, then you're spreading yourself incredibly thin. Maybe try focusing on a smaller friendship group. Focus on the lovely people who came. Partying face. Be cordial to the non-attendees and give them a break if they continue to be friendly to you. Sadly, in this social media world, we tend to judge our own popularity as a priority. Focus on you and doing things you like instead. Much love. Happy birthday from the other side of the globe. So sorry this happened to you. People suck sometimes. In your place, I would take a social media break, like you suggested. That usually improves my mental health. Then cut off the people who bailed on you, stick with the people who did show up, and maybe try for some new hobbies. Don't focus on people, focus on activities you enjoy, and maybe like-minded people will be doing them. And try to cut down on being a people pleaser. It's nice to be helpful, but not to the point where people exploit you, and it's only ever one-sided. You invited dozens of people. Realistically, most people don't have dozens of friends. I think you have a couple of actual friends and dozens of people that you just happen to know. It's fine to just have a couple of close friends. Same thing happened to me many years ago. Late April tends to be a complicated time for people for a lot of reasons. Religious holidays, family members' birthdays, charity events, family trips tend to land at that time. My birthdays always end up being a random mash-up of people, rather than the people I'm actually close to. I make last-minute, open-ended, zero-commitment plans, and threw it out there to see what sticks. That prevents disappointment and embarrassment. I know it's disheartening, but it's only going to get worse as people get older. People whose birthday are around Christmas have the same problem. I do wonder if you have been spreading yourself a little thin. Have you been focusing on making friends with different groups, maybe several different people, and perhaps not really connected with most of them? Either way, I would focus on the people that came and want to be in your life.